Alright, so here's what you're going to need to clean a ladyfish. A spoon, a bowl, a fillet knife. Hopefully one that's sharper than mine, but that'll have to do for now. So here, let me get the fish out. I guess I should have done this beforehand. I'm going to rinse it off in the sink. First step. You don't need to scale it. Got an alarm going off over here. You don't need to scale the ladyfish because most of the scales stay on. It's not a big deal. If you see any scales that stick to the meat, just rinse them out. So we got the ladyfish here. Now let me just, before I start, say that I've lived here in Florida my whole life. I caught my first fish in a stroller from my aunt's dock, and all my life, every time I've ever seen a ladyfish caught or talked to anybody who fishes here in Florida about ladyfish, they say it's a trash fish, they say throw it back, and they say it has way too many bones in it, and oh by the way, I've never tasted it before. So, you know, that always kind of perplexed me that so many people were so sure about this fish being garbage when they had never tasted it. And it got me thinking that I should taste it. So I did taste it a couple weeks ago for the first time, and it's really good. The first way I had it, I pattied it out and cooked it on the grill, and it actually comes out pretty much just like a chicken breast. It toughens up, you know, like chicken. It's that texture. People say it's mushy too. Well, it's not when you cook it on the grill. It's not mushy at all. And it's also not mushy when you fry it. And that's really what my focus is going to be here, is to show that you can fry the ladyfish and it makes delicious, yummy fish fillets. It's like a you know, fillet of fish at McDonald's kind of thing. You know, it's not one big fillet like you normally do with a fish. It's, you have to scrape out the meat first, and then you make it into little patties. So let's get started on cleaning the ladyfish. First, make your cut like you're going to do a normal fillet, but you're not going to do a normal fillet. And as much of the belly as you can avoid, I'm not very good at that, so I won't avoid much of it. But if you can avoid the rib cage, that takes out a lot of the work, because this is real simple. As you can see, I'm just cutting down along here. I could have a better knife for this, but it'll have to do. Alright, now just take the thing off. Give it a little rinse in the sink. You see I left that rib cage in there? That's going to cause me a little bit of a headache, but oh well. I'll have to improve. So I'm rinsing out the fillet in the sink to get any blood off of it, any scales. Now we set it down, you can see it's nice pink meat. Looks delicious. So let's first take this fillet knife here and cut off the rib cage, because we don't need that. We don't want tiny bones in our food. They don't cook away, if you're wondering. I've also had a ladyfish cooked whole, and it's very good, but it is a little mushy. It's not that firm when you just bake the whole fish, and that's what I did. Well, actually I grilled it, I believe, but either way, it's not going to be a firm fish that way. See, I'm having a little trouble with this rib cage. There we go. Throw that out. Now, we have ladyfish here, one fillet. You just take the spoon. It's real easy. You might have seen this in other videos. But I'm going to add my own little twist. See, here's the meat. It's delicious, delicious meat. Take out a scale, put it in the bowl. There you go. And you just do this on the whole thing, so you get all of that meat off. And as you can see, it just keeps scooping up, scooping up. More and more meat. And I mean, I can't even tell you how many of these fish that I've thrown back over the years. I've gone home skunked without anything to eat. Whoa! Don't put your fillet knife near the edge where you can knock it off. But I've gone home many times without anything to eat and threw back, I can't even tell you how many of these things. But you know what? They're really good. And actually, I guess I need to keep it in the same direction. I'm pretty new at this. I only had my first one about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. That was the grilled one. Very recently I fried one up, as I will show you. So here we go, got more meat. And I've got a bunch of these things, so I'm not going to be too worried about getting every single little bit. And that's the cool thing about them, is that you can get tons of them. They're a lot of fun to catch. And they're also frustrating because they'll jump and spit the lure over and over and over. So now you see we got this part right here. I'm going to rinse it off a little bit. Get some of the blood off. Because what you can do is take the spoon and just scrape along the ribs here. And now I know you see blood and you might be thinking, wow, it's a bloody fish, but it's not. It doesn't have a bloodline like other fish do. So, I mean, you know, it's not the same as, say, if you don't like Spanish mackerel or king mackerel, if you don't like jacks, because they have a bloodline. Well, this doesn't really have a bloodline like that. It has blood, and it bleeds a lot, but that's it. The pink meat is delicious, and it's not even fishy in the least. As a matter of fact, the last one, I cleaned it, and I just was not able to fit it into our menu that day, so I put it in the fridge in a baggie, and I was afraid that the next day I was going to have wasted fish because of all the bad things I've heard about this. I'm just going to throw this carcass out. But it actually didn't have any fishy smell to it the next day. It was delicious. I'm just going to get this really clean, get all the blood off of it. And as you can see, it's another nice pink fillet. And if you fried it like this, I can't even describe to you how many bones are in this thing. There is an absolutely ridiculous amount of bones inside of a ladyfish. When I cooked it on the grill, we just ate it out of its skin like we normally would a pompano or a Spanish mackerel or anything like that. And it looked like just cat whiskers the entire way down. It was ridiculous. Very hard to eat around all those bones. And that's probably why that's probably why the few people who have tried it didn't recommend it to a friend. But, as you can see, with the spoon method, I need a new knife. With the spoon method, you don't get any bones at all. So, the bones are not really an excuse anymore if you know how to scoop the meat. So I'm just going to do this one to show you. Another example how to do it. See? Clean meat. Delicious. And I mean, I think, I know I have had fishier flounder. I've had fishier trout. I've had fishier any other fish than I've had of this. It's a very clean flavored fish with very little fishy flavor. And you know, I guess what it is when maybe, you know, okay, when I said it doesn't have a bloodline, I can see this dark red meat, but it doesn't come off on the spoon. So I guess that's why I don't taste it. That's why it's not there when you eat the meat. Alright. I mean, as you can see, I'm scraping pretty hard, and it is not getting any red meat up. It's just getting the pink stuff. Alright, so that's one ladyfish, and it makes this much delicious pink meat. I could probably go closer there, but you know, I mean, that's pretty good. I got 6 more of these dudes to do, and then, or big mamas, whatever they are. And I guess the scales are starting to come off there. See, I'm a noob at this, so we'll learn together. How about that? But I got a bunch more of these to do, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to show you how to fry them up. It's going to be delicious. Something that I found out along the way, like I said, this is the most ladyfish I've ever cleaned in my whole life. So what I found out though is that when you're scraping with the spoon, you should start at the tail end and not move on down here until you're done at this end, because it just makes it much easier. You can see that delicious meat coming off. It makes it much easier if you start at the tail, get the tail pretty well scraped, and then move down gradually. And just every now and then scoop it off into the bowl. I'm getting a lot of meat off of these things. It's going to be delicious. So as you can see, it really comes off quickly when you take it gradually. When I think I did this during the first one I showed you. I think I probably started down here, and it actually ends up tearing the meat, and it doesn't scrape it off very well. And no bones, they all stay in there. And if you ever want to try it on the grill, like I did, cooking it whole, you will be amazed at how many bones. I mean, this doesn't even tell the story of how many bones are in this fish. It looks like dozens and dozens of cats got their whiskers stuck in the side of it. I don't know if you can see it, but there is some kind of a thin membrane between the good meat and the bloodline. So as long as you don't break that membrane, you can just scrape the good meat right off, and that bloodline never comes off. See, it's stuck to the skin, and all the bones stuck to the skin as well.